Good afternoon, everybody. This is Damon Bond of Bond Realty Group, licensed real estate brokers in the state of New York and Connecticut, New York. Hope everybody's well. Today is February 2nd. Today is March 2nd, 2018. It's Friday afternoon. And the weather is pretty bad up here. We're having some type of nor'easter or something like that. So I'm in my office right now, and I don't know if you can hear anything, but I'm on the top floor, and the windows are rattling and it's shaking. You hear the wind. So if you're out there in the New York, Connecticut area, drive well and be safe. Please don't go out unless you have to. It's nasty outside. It's cold, wet rain. They say it's turn sleet later. All right, so now we're done with our weather report. If you have any questions, you can always email me at dbond011@gmail.com. That is dbond011@gmail.com. You can always give me a call, 203-394-8123. I will respond to any email, text, and voice messages you may leave me. I will respond to them. All right, hope everybody's doing good. I don't know if anybody got the last broadcast I did last week. It was, it seems so long ago now. I tried something new. I tried to do it from my laptop, and I don't know, it was kind of weird. I don't know if it went through or not. It was about about using your tax returns for your down payment. So I hope you got it. I'm not sure if you did or didn't, but I hope you did. So in any case, what I'm going to talk about now is the home inspection. And this is primarily for buyers, but it can be helpful for sellers as well. And the question that a lot of buyers ask is, Damon, do we need a home inspection, or should I get a home inspection, or is a home inspection required? And the answer to that is not necessarily so. So what does that mean? That means that, all right, typically, you go get a house, you like the house, you put an offer in, the offer is accepted, the terms and conditions are agreed upon, and then you have to make a decision if you're going to have home inspection done. Now, let's talk about home inspections. The purpose of a home inspection is to find out the health of the house, if you will. Any problems that are there that, is not necessarily, noticeable. So it kind of gives you, it's kind of like a checkup. You know how you go to the physician and the physician checks your inside. So you may look good. You may have, six packs abs, your skin is tight, you're healthy, you got big bulging muscles or whatever it is. This is both of you, male or female, but your insides can be really messed up. You wind up having high blood pressure, you have high sugar, so yeah, outside you're solid, you look good, but inside, you got diseases going on. Well, that's what the way a house is in many cases. So a house can look good, but what does that really entail in terms of it looking good? Is the foundation okay? Are there any major, issues or anything like that? So, because a house looks good, a house can even be redone up, but there may be some shortcomings. Well, not really shortcomings, but things that you certainly want to be aware of. So, here's the thing with home inspections. Home inspections vary in price. It all depends on a slew of circumstances. It depends usually on the size of the house. All right. Let's say 1,000 square feet versus 3,000 square feet. It depends if there's any extra buildings with the property, such as an in-law setup, like in the back of the property. It depends on the type of house, single family, condo, multifamily. And by the way, we're only talking about residential properties. We're not talking about commercial industrial properties. It's only for residential properties we're talking about for today's purposes. So it depends. It really depends. So it depends on, so the price depends on what type of property you're examining. Now, here's the thing. There have been properties that I dealt with before where sometimes I had an inspection, sometimes I didn't have an inspection. It all depends what you want to do. Same thing with my clients. I had clients who were very handy, who knew what they were doing, and they decided to forego the inspection because they said, I'll inspect it on my own time. I don't need one, because they were handy. They were comfortable doing that. That's fine. I had, people, couples, single people, whatever it is, who didn't know a darn thing about, upkeeping a house. So yes, an inspection was advisable for them to do, and they did. So what does the inspector look for? Well, generally speaking, an inspector will go over the property. He or she usually will check the foundation. They'll check the roof. They'll go into the walls if they have access to it and check that. They'll check the plumbing. They'll check the ventilation heating system. Usually they'll check the siding. They check all these things. So sometimes, when the inspector checks these things, they can say, okay, well, you have asbestos covering the pipe, or that's lead plumbing right there, or the roof is at the end of its life, or your furnace is going to go soon, or your furnace may be in good condition. I'm sorry, I don't mean to sound a negative, or, whatever it is. That's what they do. So they, and then they give you a report. Now, the home inspector works for you. So it doesn't work for the buyer's agent, all right, or seller's agent. They work for you, the home inspector, all right? Now, of course, they'll share this information with your permission to your real estate professional, obviously, because just in case if anything goes wrong with it, with the inspection, you want to use this as maybe possible leverage. All right. Now, let's say the inspection turns out fine. There's no problem. You move on with the deal. You're going to get your keys to your house, and then boom, that's it. But let's say there were a couple of issues with the inspection, right? Let's say there was an issue with, I don't know. Let's see. It could be anything. There's nuances, right? Like a leaking water, something like that from the pipes, something like that. Yeah, we could do that. Usually what happens is you can do one of two things. You can say, okay, I'll fix it, right? Yourself, let's move on to the deal, I can fix it. You could say, well, I want the sellers to take care of that before we move in. You could do that. You can say, well, I want credit for that, so that's going to be about $500 a fix. I want $500, at closing so I can take care of that problem. You can do that as well. Or you can say, well, you know what? I'm not comfortable with that. I'm going to pull out the deal, and that's it. And you can do that as well. As a buyer, you'll get your funds back, okay? So you have that right. So you can do one of those, 4 or 5 things I mentioned. Now, the seller doesn't have to do any of those things unless they agree to it. If they agree to one of those things, that'd be great. But they don't have to agree to any of them. It's up to the sellers. Usually, if it's something minute and minor, they'll take care of it. It's not a problem. If it was something major, but they want to close, they'll just say, okay, we'll kick in X amount of dollars towards your closing costs, all right, closing, all right? We'll knock a couple dollars off the house, So if there's a roof that's needed to be doing, they say, well, I'm not going to fix the roof because I'm not going to live there. However, what I'll do is the roof is $10,000, all right, we'll knock off $5,000 off the house, or something like that. That could be done. I've been in situations where that was done before. So these are things you could do. Now, be wary. All right, because many properties that are short sales, you know what a short sale is already, and many properties that are REO, real estate owned, aka bank owned properties, they will not do anything for the buyer if the inspection comes back negative. You can do an inspection. They can't tell you can't do an inspection. You have a right to do an inspection. However, when you do that inspection, just be advised that the majority of the time when you're doing for REO property or short sale, the inspection is only for informational purposes. So don't come around asking for any credits. Don't come around asking for anything to be fixed. The majority of the time, most cases, it is an as-is sale. All right. This could be true of homes that are actually owned by regular homeowners and not short sales or bank owns. All right. They can stipulate that as well. All right. But yeah, so just be advised that that's the case. Now, what does an inspection usually comprise of? We already talked about that, but like I said before, it's the mechanics usually of the house, the structure. You can have termite as well. Some inspectors do termite. Some of them, they have to order the termite separately. Radon's involved usually. Radon is a odorless type of gas that's naturally found in the basement. It's like the cane matter or something like that. And, radon levels are too strong, it affects your breathing. So sometimes that does an inspection. That's usually extra as well. All right. So all these things are usually part of inspection. Now, sometimes you have to use, and I know some inspectors may kill me, right? But, you may want to get an inspection for a property, but the property is made out of brick or stucco or something like that. You may not necessarily want to get a termite inspection. I know some people will say, well, you still can have termites, eating at the floor joists, which is true. That's true, right? But, if it was a brick house, you say, okay, we want the inspection, but we could forego the termite inspection. Just do the regular one. You could do that. If you're buying a 600 square foot, ranch style condo, you can have an inspection, but what I advise it, not necessarily if it's an apartment building. right? I mean, they're going to charge, the inspector's going to charge you about $3, and it'll probably take about literally, a half hour, but you have that right. So you have to do what you're comfortable with doing, But certainly I would say, inspection is good. Now, do banks require you to do an inspection? It depends. Usually if you're doing a rehab loan, like to FHA 203K, sometimes they do. All right. If you're doing FHA, sometimes they do require an inspection to take place. But usually if you're doing conventional or have you, no inspection is necessarily required. It's optional. So these are some things you want to keep in mind. So I hope these items were helpful to you. If you have any questions, always please you go give me a call, 203-394-8123, 203-394-8123. You can always email me, all right, at dbond011@gmail.com. If you like it on Facebook, like it, please. And, hope everybody's well. Please stay safe. Please stay warm. Please stay dry in this weather. I don't know what they're going to report on tomorrow. I'm hearing snow. I'm hearing a whole lot of things. But the bottom line is this is the weekend to stay in and chill out because it is nasty outside, some nasty conditions. Don't go outside unless you have to. All right, so this is Damon Bond, Bond Realty Group, licensed real estate broker in the states of Connecticut and New York. Be well, be safe, and enjoy the rest of your afternoon as well as weekend. Good day.